Welcome again to Peppermint Wednesday. My name is Peter Roper. I'm known as the Family Businessman, and this is my weekly video blog sharing with you some ideas and practical applications of business development in a family business. So here's a question I get asked a lot. How do we transfer ownership to the next generation? Well, you see, that's not so simple, is it? Outwardly, that's a really easy thing to do. But my idea simply is that there are 4 key things that you need to think about. And my belief is that you need to get this up front as fast as you possibly can. The first one is, well, okay, who? I mean, that might sound daft, you know, you're a family and it's going to go to sons, daughters, what have you. Well, my experience is that's not always the case. Sometimes it's going to go to one, but not another. And you've got all sorts of ramifications there. And as you know, anybody that watches these things regularly or has seen me speak, I believe it's family first, business second. I've always believed that. I always will. No one will persuade me otherwise. And here's an area where life gets very dodgy if you're not careful. So be very clear who it is that this is going to be passed to. Even more so, of course, if it's not a family member. And we'll cover that on another day. But let's be clear that who it is. And the second one, which goes hand in glove, is, do they want it? Because a lot of family businesses naturally assume that they're going to pass it over to a son or daughter, what have you. And what they find out is, well, they kind of have it, but they don't really want it because it's not their vision, it's not their dream. And they feel under lots of pressure to carry on into the family business, even though they actually want to do something else, whatever it is that they want. So the key word is want. What do they want? And maybe you need some outside help here with being sure and clear of what it is that they truly want. Now, quite often, if you're dealing with somebody in their teens, 20s, what have you, they probably don't know what they want. I certainly didn't know what I wanted until I was 40-something, really. So the point I'm getting at with this is that you need help with this to be sure, as a family, that everybody knows what everybody wants. The third thing is when. When is this going to happen? So many family businesses avoid this. So many family businesses say, well, you know, eventually we're going to pass it on. Really? Well, you know, eventually means sometime never in my experience. It goes on and on and on. And what will happen is that if it's not in place, frustration comes up, particularly with different generations. There will come a point in your business where the new generation come through will be getting frustrated with the older generation because they're younger, they've got more going for them, frankly, they've got new ideas, etc. And of course, the older generation are kind of holding back because, as we know, family businesses, we think strategically and long term. And the downside to that is that if we're not careful, that means that we're slow to react. We're slow to make things happen. Not always, but in terms of this, we can be. And again, it's back to, well, we'll think about it later, which is just not good enough. So, but make sure we understand when. And the final thing is this word called change. And all these things are about vision in the business. You have to understand that you might have done all of this really well, and it might be simply just sitting around a table over a cup of tea, in my case a peppermint tea, and chatting it through and documenting it and saying, this is what we're going to do. But life changes. It can change in a heartbeat. It can change in a snap. And I've known from my experience an awful number of family businesses where the senior people involved, mom and dad, what have you, something happens. Maybe it's health, maybe it's something with a friend, whatever, and they suddenly decide they want to make it happen now. Well, if you haven't already gone through this process, it's not so easy to do. So the thing is, you have to recognise the fact that even though you do this process, it could all change in a heartbeat. But at the very least, if you've done the first 3, you've got a fighting chance of looking at change and embracing it, which of course is what we have to do with change, and then move forward. So that's it. Get on social media, send me an email, I always respond to them personally, and let's see how we can help each other with the transfer of ownership to the next generation. My name's Peter Roper, I'm known as the Family Businessman, and remember, if I can help you in any way, just let me know. Thanks for listening.